Hi everybody, it's Wednesday and it is time for the Gift of Stillness. So I thank you for being here with me and joining me live. And as always, a week or so after we meet here live on Facebook, I do post these videos on my YouTube channel for those of you who are not able to join me live. But for those of you in my Facebook group, Women Inspired Beyond the Asanas, you can always watch the replay here within the group. So anyway, let us begin. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about anxiety. Hey Dana. And I want to talk especially about anxiety because it seems that every time I turn on the radio or turn on the TV or even my iPhone or laptop, there is always something screaming at me about something I really don't want to hear about. Whether it be the elections and some god-awful information about somebody that I really don't need to know all that information about, or this latest horrific news with the coronavirus. And of course, we all have our own, hey Dana, hey Astra, we all have our own personal anxiety things, never mind what is going on in the world all around us, right? So, you know, when you combine just your everyday life and all of the things that you have to do to just keep your head above water, just keep your life going, and just make yourself feel positive in a world that is trying to pull you down, it can really be hard sometimes. And all of that can make you feel very anxious. And anxiety can be such a root of evil in your life, all right? Anxiety can cause disease. It causes stress, and not the good kind. It can cause disease. It can cause sleeplessness. It can cause overeating. It can cause so many bad habits to develop and that sneak into your life in little ways that you don't even notice until it's almost too late. And sometimes it is too late. So I just want to kind of bring some awareness to you about ways to maybe help eliminate some points of anxiety in your life, and also some ways that you may not even be aware of that anxiety is entering your life. And as always, we'll talk about, hey Emma, we'll talk about our crystal grid, and I made a really powerful one for tonight's session because, my God, there is so much going on out there that I think we all need help with dealing with anxiety, and some essential oils that you can use to help with anxiety as well. But since I have a few of you here with me, has anybody that's with me now, sharing with me now, has anybody noticed in their own personal lives a feeling of increased stress lately? Just you know, whether it be maybe an increase in your heart rate, or maybe just noticing that you are feeling some sort of difference in your behavior that you maybe weren't feeling a month ago or 3 weeks ago. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you're not sleeping well. Maybe you're sleeping too much. Maybe you're, I don't know why you would, but maybe you're turning on the TV a lot more than you are. Maybe you're zoning out, or maybe you're just scrolling through your phone all the time because you just want to zone out. Sometimes anxiety makes us do really crazy things. I don't know why, but it really does. And there are some simple things that you can do to help eliminate or fight off anxiety. So I want to share with you some of that. And I want to tell you that, you know, I mentioned some things that I have felt. Absent-mindedness, yes, Astra, that is so true. Oh my God, I can't believe you said that. Because I find that too. It's like, I'm the type of person that has a list of things to do, right? And sometimes that list of things to do just sits over there, and I'm thinking of things that I need to add to my list of things to do, but then I forget all about those things. And I'll think of something when I'm driving, and I'll say, oh, I have to add that to my list of things to do, and bloop, it's gone. It's this side of the brain, and it's out that side of the brain, because there's so much information. You're right, absent-mindedness, that's a good one. Yeah, that is a good one. And I think we're all being bombarded with so much information these days that that's really a very natural thing to happen when we are over anxious and we're just trying to deal with day-to-day life and trying to figure out how we keep up. So, I talked about the elections. I just mentioned Corona because everybody flips out and is like, oh, are you a Corona yes or a Corona no? Hi, Marlene. And there's so much information, and some people are like, oh, it's all big hype, and some people are like, oh no, it's real. And you just have to, I guess, at that point, when you are getting so much information, you have to just know when to turn it off and just be within yourself and just know when it's enough. I can't take anymore. I have to take care of myself. I have to be happy and healthy for myself. And that means shutting off the TV. That sometimes means turning off your iPhone, or at least putting it away for a while. God help us all. That can mean going out for a walk sometimes. But I'm getting a little ahead of myself here. Okay, I am, and that's one of the things that I want to share with you. I want to share with you some things you can do to beat anxiety, which of course leads to stress, and so many other things: high cholesterol, high blood pressure, sleeplessness, depression, all these things. It's like a vicious circle. So, but I want you to just understand a little bit more. Anxiety affects the root chakra. It affects other chakras too, but it all goes down to your root chakra, which is in your tailbone. And what you will, if you know, when I've talked about the chakras before, the root chakra is your chakra that has to do with security, survival, and instinct, right? It's your fight or flight. All right, and that's something that as humans, hi Domi, as humans we have been evolving over so many years, hundreds of millions or thousands, whatever you believe, to have this fight or flight behavior. It's imperative for us to have that, of course, as we've evolved through nature. However, sometimes that fight or flight behavior can get us into a little bit of trouble, and we become ungrounded, and we become not so secure in our own behaviors. And that's where we get into a little bit of trouble, where the root chakra becomes unbalanced. And that's when you notice that you're feeling a little unbalanced. I know, Astra, we were talking about that today, and you can become a little bit anxious and a little bit hopeless, and you just don't feel yourself. And that's when you are talking about the root chakra, you want to start wearing red, being around the color red, anything to help you get that back into balance. Wear a red shirt, go out for a walk. All of that combined really does make a difference. So before I get into my ways for you to beat anxiety, my suggested ways, I want to just talk to you about my grid. I made a really powerful grid for us tonight, really powerful, because there's so much stuff going on in the world out there that's bombarding us. I want to talk about a really strong grid and some great crystals for you to think about to add to your collection if you don't have some of these already. Let me pull this up on my iPad. Here we go. So this is, here we go. This is the grid that I made for tonight. So and this is all about helping to eliminate anxiety. So, and it will stay in my studio office for the next 2 weeks until we meet again. So the focus stone, as you can see, is a big, huge hunk of rose quartz. Rose quartz, all about love, all about the heart. Okay, very, very strong and powerful stone. Then around that, I have some blue lace agate, not crazy lace agate, blue lace agate. I also have a big piece of citrine. I have a big piece of sodalite. I have 3 pieces of black tourmaline, which is a super great crystal for you to have to absorb negative energy. And then I have a piece of labradorite. I had labradorite in our last grid as well. Then I have angelite. I have blue kyanite. I have aquamarine and clear quartz points. And again, this is all about helping eliminate, interesting on that root chakra, I know. But this one is all about helping us to eliminate anxiety. And if you have any questions on this grid or any of these crystals, you can always just shoot me a message either on Instagram or Facebook, and I'm happy to give you any information. But any of these pieces individually are really good for you to have if you are dealing with anxiety, especially, I would say, the black tourmaline. Really a great stone for you to have. I always have pieces around the house. It's really good. Now, I also want to just mention some essential oils that you can use if you want to help with anxiety. Valor smells wonderful. Now, Valor is good for long-term anxiety. It also helps with relaxation. Has a nice earthy fragrance, but it's blue. Okay, so this is not something that you want to like put on your neck or something if you have a white shirt. You got to be careful. Put between your hands, rub, inhale. It just has a really beautiful earthy fragrance. You can even put a drop or 2 on your crown. Very, very nice. Well, I'll get into that one later. Clary Sage. You may not have heard of this one before, Clary Sage. Now, I have a note on this one because I don't use this one too often myself. All right, so this one can actually help with relaxation. It may work on lowering your blood pressure and lowering your respiratory rate. So if sometimes when you are anxious, you feel like sometimes you can't catch your breath. Sometimes you feel that your blood is rushing through your body. This one is Clary Sage, C-L-A-R-Y, then a second word, S-A-G-E, just like sage, the herb or spice, Clary Sage. This one's a little bit sweeter. And again, you can just rub some in your hands. Inhale. This is the kind of thing you can also use on certain points of your body where you might have thin skin, the back of your neck. You can use it on your temples before you meditate or you practice yoga. Although if you're going to be practicing yoga, you probably don't want to put it on your the palms of your hands, maybe the temples or the back of the neck. And always you can use these in your diffuser. Valor, V-A-L-O-R, Valor. Oops, can you see it? Yeah. And then there's another one that I didn't bring it upstairs. It's called Release, just like the word release, to release something. And that's what it's all about, to release, help you release feelings of anxiety. It has more of a floral scent. It's very nice. I use that one sometimes before I go to sleep. And then another one, lavender, master oil. This is also good for sleep. Of course, we all know that. But sometimes you never think about how anxiety affects your sleep. Anxiety can make you sleep deprived. And when you are sleep deprived, that affects so many other things, right? It can affect your driving. It can affect your work. It can affect your whole daily life. And sometimes it can affect other things in your physical body as well, and your emotional well-being too. So always remember, if you are under stress, if you are feeling anxious, to make sure you are getting enough sleep. And if you like the smell of lavender, or try the Young Living Release, those are very helpful. You can rub them on the soles of your feet or use a diffuser at night in your bedroom. It's just lovely. All right, enough about crystals and oils. I want to talk about just a few things that you can do to help eliminate anxiety. So, of course, exercise, right? Exercise. We all know exercise is really a great thing for helping to reduce anxiety. Okay, see ya. Exercise, what does exercise do besides the fact that it helps burn calories and it gets you out there moving? Yeah, but it releases endorphins. And endorphins, what are endorphins all about? Those are the happy things that go on in your brain and make you feel better. So exercise is very important. Another thing that you need to remember when you are feeling anxious, and we have those moments during the day, and it's not just because the TV's on or the radio's on, it's because maybe you had an argument with somebody, or because you made a phone call and it didn't go well, or you sent an email and you said the wrong thing in the email, and it's just like eating away at you, right? We've all done that. Oh my God. Take a breath. Take a breath. You just need to be in the moment and know that it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. The world will not end, and everything will be okay. Just know that. And go on. Move on and know that everything will be okay. Take a breath. Another thing you can do is a Yoga Nidra. I am a huge fan of Yoga Nidra, as you all know. Yoga Nidra is readily available. Besides the fact that I teach Yoga Nidra, you can find Yoga Nidra on YouTube. You can find Yoga Nidra on Insight Timer. You can find Yoga Nidra so easily on the internet. Put your earbuds on, lay down on your yoga mat, lay down on your bed, and do a Yoga Nidra. They're anywhere from 15 to 50 minutes. It's great. It's healthy. It relaxes you. It relaxes your muscles. It's one of the best things you can do to relax. I'm like totally convinced, and there is scientific evidence that it is good for you. The other thing is breathing, pranayama, breathing exercises. That's one of the things we also do in this class. We learn how to breathe well. So you breathe in to 4, you breathe out to 5. That's one of the things we do. We also do the 4-7. Hi, Julie. We do the 4-7-8. There's so many different breathing exercises that you can do when you are feeling anxious. But what you want to do, you want to make it conscious breathing. All right, so you're in a supermarket and you're feeling anxious, you're overwhelmed, you forgot your shopping list, and you have 10 minutes to get your shopping done, and God, you just can't remember what in the heck was on that shopping list, and blah, 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 blah. It's all going through your head, right? Okay, stop. Take 30 seconds, 50 seconds, and practice conscious breathing. Breathe in to 4, pause at the top, breathe out to 5 or 6. Do that 4 or 5 times. You will feel a whole lot better. And that anxiousness and that stress you were putting yourself under is just going to be gone. All right, another thing, negative thoughts. We all have them. We know we do. You got this side and it's like, oh, happy day, everything's going great. You're You look good, you feel good, congratulations, you did this, blah, 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 blah. And then you got this one on the other side saying, oh, I can't believe you did that. How could you, blah, 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 blah. And then this side is reminding you of all the awful shit. And this side is saying all the good stuff, but this is not the side you listen to. This is the side you listen to, okay? Stop. Stop, 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 stop. Don't listen to the negative thoughts. If you can't hear that, okay, you can't hear that, breathe. 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 And then try to listen to that. Try real hard not to listen to that. For every one of these you hear, try to hear 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 of these. Because you know what? This is really you. It's not this shit. It's not this shit. It's this. It's this. You didn't get to where you are in your life because of that. You got to where you are in your life because of this. All the good stuff. Remember that. Breathe. Don't dwell on the negative thoughts. Listen to the good stuff. Okay, 2 more, I promise. 2 more, I promise. How long has it been since you went out with your friends? I mean, really went out with your friends, not just like made plans for like this huge thing and maybe it worked out, maybe it didn't, but it was more stress than anything else to get it organized and get it to work. I mean, like, just go out and have fun. I don't know, whatever fun is to you. Maybe go to a movie, go out for dinner, go out for lunch, walk through the park, jog, bicycle, something fun. Something that gets those happy little endorphins going with a friend or friends. Do that. Do that more often. Don't isolate yourself. Don't sit scrolling through your phone. Don't sit on your computer. Don't sit in front of the TV. Get out. Be with friends. Laugh. Happy endorphins. Gets rid of anxiety. Makes it say bye. Very important. And then last but not least, yoga. Yeah, yoga. Okay, you think I'm crazy. I talk about yoga all the time. And I know I do. I love yoga. I'm passionate about it. Changed my life. It can change yours. Maybe you're not a believer yet, but I know it can. But the thing to remember about yoga is not about exercise. I know there's fanatics who do all that hot yoga and the 26 and all that stuff. But that's not yoga's original intention. Yoga's original intention was to calm the mind. The original yogis way back when in India, they would sit in a pose for hours, sometimes for days. That was all about mind, calming the mind, controlling the mind. It wasn't about exercise. So remember, when I preach about yoga, yeah, I'm doing it because I like it as a partial form of exercise. But yoga is about the mind. It's about the body, the spirit, and the mind. All right. I think you heard enough from me. Hey, Kirsty. I think I've been going on here. But I really feel that we are all so anxious right now with everything going on. And I know we have a lot to go through still, especially if you read the papers or you listen to the TV or all that. There's still so much craziness going on in the world. But think about simple things, breath work, yoga nidra, go for a walk, stop those negative thoughts, don't listen to them, practice pranayama, practice controlled breathing. They're simple things that you can do to help yourself. And remember, get back to me if you have questions about that crystal grid. I will post it in the group, probably tomorrow when I get a better picture of it. And ask me questions if you have any questions about those oils. I'm happy to talk with you about them, really. Let me know. So tonight's practice in Yin, guess what? Is about anxiety. Yay! So find your mat, Grab your pillow or your bolsters. You may need a block, maybe not, but let's get ready. All right, we're going to start tonight in butterfly. Now, I'm going to face you, but you're going to be longwise on your mat. Butterfly is bound angle. Everything in Yin has a different name. So you are going to have the soles of your feet touching, knees bent. The intention of this pose is for you to feel sensation, your inner thighs. You may feel it even in your hamstrings. And we are going to forward fold. Now, if you're not familiar with Yin, Yin is about modifying with bolsters or pillows so that you are able to hold the pose for 3 to 5 minutes. Most of our poses tonight will be about 3 minutes. And I have a timer so that I'll keep track of it. So you're going to come into your pose. You're going to find a place in that pose where you feel sensation. You want to feel something. You definitely do. This is not restorative yoga. But you want to find that edge where you can hold that pose for at least 3 minutes. So you don't want to go full force into it. And then you want to remain relatively still during those 3 minutes, okay? So it tends to be rather introspective if you're new to Yin. And during those 3 minutes, you can consider ways to be anxiety. How's that? So you can use a bolster to fold forward, as long as you're still feeling sensation. You can use a pillow. Or, if you're nice and bendy and stretchy, you don't have to use anything. You can just fold forward. Now, you may also feel this in your lower back, okay? We've got a lot of things going on in this particular pose. So go ahead and start, and I will get that timer started. All right, slowly bring yourself up. And then stretch out your legs long. And then just shake them out a little bit. Bring your arms out behind you like kickstands. Continue shaking for just a second. Bend the knees. Keep the feet flat on the floor and just windshield wiper your legs. Okay, good. Now bring the legs back to center and stretch them out long again. So now you're sitting with your legs long, spine sort of straight up as best you can. And we're going to move into caterpillar, which is simply a forward fold. Now, again, we are not like really going all full force out trying to grab those toes or grab the bottoms of your feet. If you can, if you've been practicing yin for a while or if you're super stretchy, go right ahead and do that. We are going to be in this pose for 3 minutes. If you prefer to use a bolster, you want to hold on like that, that's perfectly okay. Your sensation, the intention of the pose is your hammies, okay? We're going after the hammies here. Now, you can also use a pillow if you want to do that. You may feel it in different places. You may feel it in your lower back. You may feel it in the outer thigh. You may feel it in the quads. It's possible for you to feel different things when you do this pose, but the intention is to stretch the back of the thighs, maybe even a little bit into the calf muscles. Okay, we're working the backs of the legs here. All right, we're going to be here 3 minutes, starting now. Try to keep your breath normal. You don't want to be holding your breath. You want your fingers and toes relaxed. You may find after being in the pose for a minute that you're able to go deeper. That is fine, but it is not my intention for you to go deep and deeper into the pose. slowly bring yourself up. And if you're using a bolster or a pillow, you can push that off to the side. And now what I'd like you to do, I'm just shifting here. Just lay down on your mat, on your back, and rest for a moment. Good. From here, we're going to bend our knees, feet flat on the floor. We're going to turn over to our side and then bring ourselves back up to seated. And we're going to move into melting heart. Now, some of you that know yoga, maybe vinyasa yoga, you will recognize this pose as puppy dog. So you're going to come to all fours. And if it feels good to you right now, you may want to do a couple of cat-cows. So inhale, cow. Keep your shoulders away from your ears. Inhaling, looking up. And exhaling, bringing that belly button towards the ceiling. Dropping the head. Tucking that chin to the chest. Inhaling, cow. Exhaling, cat. All right, so from here, we're going to do our melting heart pose. So you're going to bring your hands forward. Your fingers are splayed out. Your knees are still underneath your hips. So it's sort of parallel here. And you're going to drop your forehead onto the mat. Try to keep this up in the air and this parallel. You may need to bring your hands out further from your mat. You can drop your chest to the mat if that's comfortable. Now, there's a few options here as well. You can pad your knees. You can use a pillow for your head. You can also bend your elbows if it's too stressful for your shoulders. Okay? We'll be here for 3 minutes. I will say that the intention of this pose, however, is a shoulder stretch. So if you're bending your shoulders, you're not getting the full benefit of the pose. Try to stretch them out and then drop. See if that works for you. If it's too intense, try to bring one hand beneath the head, and see if that helps. If that's still too intense, bring both hands underneath the head. Try to keep those shoulders stretched. Remember, keep your toes relaxed. Keep your jaw relaxed. Fingers relaxed. And try to breathe normally. Try to keep the integrity of the pose if you can. Okay, slowly bring yourself up using your hands, walking them backwards. So you're on all fours again. And now stretch out your legs long behind you and bring yourself down onto your belly to rest. Arms can be down by your side or underneath your head, whatever is comfortable for you. Good. Now carefully bring yourself back up onto your knees, and we're going to move right into Sleeping Swan, which many of you know as pigeon. So you bring your knees forward, keeping your knees bent. So now what we'll do is we will bring the right leg forward, keeping the knee bent. Your hands may come out a little bit in front of you on the mat. So keep that right knee bent. Bring the right knee out to the edge of the right mat, the right edge of the mat, and the right foot towards the left edge of the mat. If it's not parallel, no big deal. This is just a guideline, okay? You want it to go across the mat, the calf and the shin. And you want your left leg out straight behind you, and then you want to push your pelvis down towards the mat. Now you may not get it fully down towards the mat. That's all right. You can use a pillow underneath the right hip. If that makes it more comfortable for you, you can also use a block underneath the right hip. And then you drop yourself down onto your elbows, or you can rest your head. The intention here is to work the glutes. There's a lot of places you can feel this, but this is pretty much to work the glutes and potentially your right thigh. Now, if you are feeling knee pain on that right knee, you need to pull out or lower the right foot so that it's closer to the left leg, okay? You don't want to feel any pain in your knees. All right, I'm going to be here for 3 minutes. I'm taking 30 seconds off. No torture chamber here. Okay, carefully bring yourself up. If you're using a block or a pillow, you can move that away. And then lift your pelvis, straighten out that right leg, come back down on your belly, and rest. See how your body feels right now. Do you feel a difference between your right leg and your left leg? Does one leg feel longer? Does one leg feel shorter? Do you notice any difference? Just think about it. All right, now use your hands and arms to bring yourself back up again. Now this time we're going to use the left leg, so we're going to bend that knee, bring the left leg forward. Left knee goes towards the outer edge of the mat. Left foot towards the outer edge of the mat on the other side. Again, if it's not parallel with the mat, it doesn't matter. It's how your body works. I'm just moving up a little bit. Okay, here we go. And now make sure that right leg is straight behind you. And now drop your pelvis down. That's going to make that right leg shift. And then bring yourself down. Again, this right glute may or may not be comfortable in that position. You can use a pillow if you prefer, or a block underneath here for support. That's entirely up to you. We're going to be here for about 3 minutes. You can rest on your elbows, you can rest on your hands. Again, no pain in this knee. If you feel pain in this knee, draw that left foot closer to your body. Okay? You may notice that this leg causes different sensation. You may feel it more in your quad, you may feel it differently in your glutes. It may be an entirely different feeling. All right, here we go. Slowly bring yourself up using your hands and your arms. And then kick yourself with that back leg. Bring the left leg back. And lower yourself back down onto the mat on your belly and rest. And just sort of shake your glutes a little bit while you're laying here. And then just rest again. Now think about your legs again. How do they feel now? Do they feel the same? Do you notice a difference? From here, we're going to move into child's pose. So you're going to use your hands and your arms, bring yourself up. Move your legs forward. You're going to have your knees mat width apart. You're going to sit on your heels, toes touching. Now again, this pose, you can use a bolster if you like. You can use a pillow. Some people don't feel that they have a need to use either. You can use a block if you want for your head. But basically you're going to come down using your arms, drop your head onto the mat again, stretch out the arms. If you're a real yinster, some people like to do this. Gives more of a stretch in the armpits and the shoulders. But remember, we're going to be here 3 minutes. So whichever variation you choose, make sure that you can hold it for those 3 minutes, okay? Okay, if you're using a pillow or a bolster, you can just push that off to the side. And then we're going to bring ourselves up. Bring the knees together. Bring the arms forward on the mat. Stretch out the legs back. Come down and rest on the belly. Good. Now, roll yourself over onto your back very gently, okay? We're not doing a lot of quick movements here. Nice and gently roll yourself over onto your back. Hopefully you have a bolster or a block or a pillow nearby. We're going to do legs up the wall here. Now, you don't actually need to use a bolster or a block or pillow or anything for legs up the wall if you don't want to. My favorite way to do legs up the wall, if I'm not actually on the wall, is to use a block. I feel you get the best lift and support on your sacrum, and then that also leads into a nice stretch in the psoas muscles afterwards, which is all about fight and flight, and it fits perfectly into our theme tonight about anxiety. So if you have a block, I would suggest you use that. If not, a bolster, or you can just stay flat on your mat. The pillow doesn't really do much for legs up the wall unless we're actually at the wall. So I'm going to grab my block. So my knees are bent, my feet are flat on the floor. My hands are down by my side. I'm going to grab this block. I'm going to shift, lift my sacrum. I'm going to put this block underneath the sacrum. So now, that sacrum is that weird little triangle bone that you have, okay, back there in your lower back. That is where this block is going to go. It's going to go right underneath that bone, that flat triangle bone. So this is basically a supported bridge pose, but we're going to move into legs up the wall, okay? So your hands are down by your side, your chin is tucked into your chest. You're going to lift your right leg, and then you're going to lift your left leg. So we're going to be here for about 2.5 minutes. And your toes can be relaxed. Again, you're breathing normally throughout the whole practice. You're trying to keep the muscles relaxed in the body, except the muscles that we are focusing on for the intention of the poses. Especially want to relax your jaw muscles, your fingers, your toes. Got another minute here. All right. Now slowly what you want to do is bring the right leg down, keeping that foot flat on the floor, knee bent, and then bring the left down. Now we're going to move into our psoas stretch here. And that's regardless of if you have a bolster or a block. If you're not using either, then just stretch your legs out straight. We'll just catch up with you. So we're doing a psoas stretch. This is for those of you that are using a block or a bolster. We're going to stretch that right leg out. Kind of, I don't know if you can see it here, something may be in the way, but you're going to kind of have your toes pointed down. Not like a real stretch, but just point your toes down. Relax the leg. Bring the left leg down, point the toes down, relax the leg. So you want to feel a stretch all in the front of this pelvis area. These are your psoas muscles. These are your fight or flight muscles. These muscles don't typically get a lot of stretch, okay? If you're a runner, this stretch may be a little tender for you. We won't stay here too long because this can be pretty intense for some people. Just keep it relaxed. Keep this whole area relaxed. Keep your legs relaxed. Okay, take a nice deep breath. And sigh it out. Now carefully bring that right leg in, bend the knee, bring the foot flat on the floor. Then do the same for the left. Bend the knee, foot flat on the floor. Just rest here for a moment. Now this may feel a little bit intense on the lower back. We're going to lift the pelvis. So you're going to push up on your feet. Take that block or bolster away and drop the hips to the floor. Keep the knees bent, feet flat. This is passive rest now. Just rest for a moment. Stretch the right leg out, left leg out, and rest. Okay, we're going to move into our last pose before Shavasana. Happy baby. So you're going to bring your legs up, feet towards the ceiling. You're going to grab onto either your ankles, the sides of your feet. Some people that don't have a lot of tightness in the backs of the legs can actually straighten the legs. I am not one of those people. And then you're going to pull your knees towards your armpits. This is called Happy Baby. You want to keep that chin tucked in towards your chest. All right? So you should feel a nice in your sacrum, a nice massage on your sacrum, your lower back area when you're in this pose. I'm going to be here for about 2 minutes. Okay. You can release the feet and bring the soles of the feet together, keeping the knees bent, and then drop the legs down onto the mat very slowly and controlled. Stretch the legs out long. Let the feet fall apart naturally. Relax the arms. Bring the palms facing up and find your Shavasana. If you would like to use a pillow or a blanket to keep yourself comfortable and warm, that's a good thing to do. And also a suggestion for grounding, if you have a yoga blanket or even just a blanket that you can fold up into like a square, you can put that on your pelvis area. And that is a sort of a comfort spot for grounding. And that's a good thing to do when you're in Shavasana. Like a weighted blanket. Remember the sky that you were born under. Know each of the stars' stories. Remember the moon. Know who she is. Remember the sun's birth at dawn. That is the strongest point of time. Remember sundown and the giving away tonight. Remember your birth, how your mother struggled to give you form and breath. You are evidence of her life and her mother's and hers. Remember your father. He is your life also. Remember the earth whose skin you are. Red earth, black earth, yellow earth, white earth, brown earth. We are earth. Remember the plants, trees, animal life who have all their tribes, their families, their histories too. Talk to them. Listen to them. They are alive poems. Remember the wind. Remember her voice. She knows the origin of this universe. Remember, you are all people, and all people are you. Remember, you are this universe, and this universe is you. Remember, all is in motion, is growing, is you. Remember, language comes from this. Remember, the dance language is. That life is. Remember. Take a nice deep breath and sigh it out. One more time, nice deep breath and sigh it out. Begin to bring yourself back to the presence of the room that you're in. Begin to bring motion to your fingers and your toes. And become aware of any noises that may be around the space where you are. And slowly turn yourself over onto one side and rest in fetal position for a moment. And then use your hands and your breath to bring yourself up to seated position. Keep your eyes softly closed. Your hands on your thighs. And just take a moment to contemplate how your body feels right now. Are you rested? Do you feel relaxed? Do you feel energy flowing in any particular parts of your body? Think about our topic tonight and how it is possible to work on eliminating anxiety with some very simple things, some very simple steps. You just have to remember them. You have to be in the moment. Breath work, exercise. That can simply be going for a walk, being with friends, enjoying their company. Getting rid of negative thoughts and realizing that everything's going to be okay. Practicing yoga for your mind, for your body, and to calm your spirit. Protect yourself with crystals that work for you, such as black tourmaline. Get enough sleep. Use essential oils to help you. Tune out the negative. Bring your hands to your heart. In a world that seems so crazy and so rushed, pulling us in a million directions, I wish you the ability to find peace and calmness within the whirlwind. remember the way, because there is a way. As always, I wish you peace and joy. Namaste. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here with me tonight. I really appreciate all your comments and all of your love and support. And I know I'm a little bit late, but I just want to share one other thing that I have been sharing with you and on my Facebook page and in my newsletters about my free clarity calls. If there's anything that you would like to talk with me about on these complimentary calls, I would love to talk with you anytime. Really, just find the link on my Facebook page or on Instagram or in my newsletters and talk. That's all it is. It's a conversation between you and I to talk and to share. That's all it is. 30 minutes. Namaste. Have a great day. Great evening.